Good afternoon, all. Uh, got a friendly game here against justnord. No delay, so you're watching this in real time. We are USSR, so we'll open 4-4-1 as we've got independent reds. Yep. So, yeah, justnord just dropped me a line on Reddit asking for a game, and I said, yes, please. Let's put in our hand. Yep, and that, and that. What am I missing? That one. So, we have options. We could Arab-Israeli war and try and coup out Iran, or we could capture Nazi scientists. I like the 50-50 Arab-Israeli war because chances are we get off to space first anyway, and we want to try and capitalise on Middle East scoring. Although I suppose if we want to capitalise on Middle East scoring, Suez is even better, but that then leaves us with no 3-op card to coup Iran with. So we'll go for 50-50 Arab-Israeli war. They're going containment, ops boost. Let's bink it. We don't. Okay. So we know that Middle East is not going to go our way. It's just a question of how not our way it goes. So let's start with a Suez crisis. So the thing is, if we do coup with the China card, which is a speculative gamble, if they fail their last coup on Iran, well, they still have time to expand from Israel. I don't know. Let's start with a cheap coup with independent reds. That is not great. Let's see if they expand into Pakistan here, or just top Iran back up. If they don't immediately do stuff in the Middle East, then we may be able to dump Middle East at least for 0, which would be better than a poke in the eye. But it's generally not a great start. But that's what you get for being miserly on your opening coup. Yep, influence. Very sensible. Okay, so we get lucky here and can ditch Middle East for 0. And I'm going to do that. Because I don't see a way in which it gets better for us. Keep DEFCON up, so if they play into Pakistan or Thailand, we can get a coup off. Or they're blustering and cooing Iraq, which is a bit of a wasted coup for them. So we want to get off to space next, I suppose, if they don't play into Pakistan or Thailand. If they fill France, we could go Suez, removing Israel, 2 from France and 1 from the UK. It's an option. So we'll wait and see how they respond. But I just didn't see a world in which we managed to drop Middle East scoring for domination there. So the fact that they didn't play in for another 4VP suited me nicely. UN intervention, already thinning their hand out. Okay, this is reasonably good for us. I propose Suez, remove Israel, and trim France down. Yeah. And now they've cut their hand down a bit, we could blockade them. I know that they can ditch a 2-op card to blockade, but maybe getting decol out wouldn't be a bad thing here. Although I suppose if they had it, they'd have dropped it. It's a shame they're under containment, because having used you an intervention, it would make blockade so much richer. And we're still looking to get captured Nazi off. But they have to use 3 more ops here to refill France and a non-battleground. Well, 4 ops if it's not the UK. So, let's wait and see. 6 cards gone, yeah, that's fine, because he didn't use you an intervention. If they do refill France, I suppose we have the option of using Formosa Resolution to tap West Germany. Just to keep denying domination, but it's not ideal. The upshot is, if we can somehow hold off Europe scoring if that's what they've got, and they're not just filling France for fun, if they're holding Europe scoring, then we could AR6 blockade them if we really genuinely think that they're just holding. Oh wait, they didn't use you an intervention card. I'm being stupid. They've got to hold. Yeah, no, I don't like playing Marshall Plan. We've seen you an intervention go, unfortunately, so it might have to go to space. They do. You don't want NATO to be playable. Never. It's just nice for real lines. Anyway, we'll wait and see what they do here. With Suez having gone, they've got an incentive to fill France again, because now they only have to worry about de Gaulle. Lots of thinking. Okay, so they're doing the old event and repair thing, knowing that they've got a 1-op advantage. Alright, so let's do that. So they can only fill West Germany and or France. So that will give us... Let's see if they fill West Germany or France, for starters. Yeah, I'm fine with that. So with 4 ops, they can put 2 in West Germany and 2 in France, but that's not quite enough. Or they could put 3 in France and 1 in West Germany, and then we can consider whether they have Truman. Or we can just event captured Nazi. And then if they dominate the turn after, we can do something. So there you go. West Germany, UK, France. Okay. So we'll event captured Nazi, and we'll tap West Germany next turn. The alternative was tap West Germany this turn, and then they fill France and West Germany, so we have to tap West Germany again anyway. Now they get off to space too. Okay, so that suggests that they're probably not holding. Okay, I'm going to space Marshall Plan because UN intervention has gone in turn 1. Splendid. There's no point in holding it if we can't use it. And now the last read is just, do they have Europe scoring or not? I think AR6 will just tap West Germany with Formosa so we can push on France. But we're still hoping for something like de Gaulle in the headline. Although DEFCON might be 5 if they don't coup. which makes playing De Gaulle less viable, since we'll just get clean realigned out of there. So they're going on the old coup, Iraq, and they don't get there. Right, Independent Reds is gone. So let's level up what do we think? The gambling version is to enjoy tapping West Germany to get close to France. But if we play into Czechoslovakia and Yugoslavia, they then need to spend 4 ops on their last turn to get Europe domination. Let's do that. That's probably sad and not the risk-loving option, but it's what I've done. At least in this scenario, if we get De Gaulle, we can dominate Europe. But we've got to watch out for defectors, which hasn't been yet. We're already in a situation where they've got a lot of access routes into Asia, so giving them an extra battleground with Formosa is not totally horrific. They've got De Gaulle. Damn and blast. And socialist governments is gone. So, yes. Europe scoring is probably a fine headline here. Although, Vietnam Revolt's duck and cover gets us access to Asia. Worst case scenario, we get defected, and then we can... Yeah, worst case scenario, we get defected and drop Europe scoring in AR1, yeah? So let's go Vietnam Revolts and see if we get purged or defected. Defected. It was worth a try. So now we ditch Europe scoring in AR1 before it gets worse. And we've got Decol, Indo-Pakistani War, which may yet be useful, Nuclear Test Ban, the Karen War, and Duck and Cover. Okay. So they look to reduce DEFCON. And this time they do it. Sassy. But we will now coup Iran big style and hope for a nice big number. Yes. Okay, right. So that closes the gates on the Middle East for a while. And if they now play into Pakistan, we also have Indo-Pakistani War we can use. And we've got Decol, which does put them under some pressure now. So that was alright, that interplay. So they had Purge as well. So we will go decolonization. And that will allow us to choose between Thailand and Burma. Thailand and Burma, Thailand and India. We will blockade this turn to try and force out D-Style because we haven't seen it. There's 50-50 chances in their hand. So the problem here is they need 5 ops to take India and Thailand. For now, we'll plough into South Korea to try and race that up as well. Giving up the China card is bad, actually, having not seen 5-year plan and CIA. But we'll give it a go. We did at least get Asia out quickly, so that's good. So now we use Korean War to finish taking Korea. Yeah, that's fine. We'll space duck and cover. And we'll hold Indo-Pakistani war to assure India of safety. So we're probably not going to blockade here. What we're probably going to do is AR6 put one in Syria to get presenceless domination in the Middle East in the hopes we can convert that. Tapping Iran was better there, personally, but anyway. Right, we space duck and cover. Do we? No. We're holding duck and cover. And we'll play into Syria for presenceless domination in the hopes of getting a Middle East scoring headline in the reshuffle. Yeah, 5-year plan and CIA are in the deck. But, there we go. Space, Fidel, that's fine. Unfortunately, we did get CIA, but we didn't get 5-year plan. We did get Middle East scoring, which is nice. CIA, US, Japan, Trumaine, Olympic. So they do have D-style, unfortunately. Along with 5-year plan and NATO. I think we have to really hope defectors didn't come in the reshuffle. Because we're going to have to headline CIA, aren't we? Yeah, so Middle East, hope they don't pull duck and cover with 5-year. Otherwise we're dead. Well, I guess it's a question of how much of a gamble we want to take. If we headline Middle East scoring and they 5-year PAM pull duck and cover, we're dead. If we headline CIA, they see we have Middle East scoring and take a +1 realign on Iran. So I suppose CIA is the risk-averse option. And then they potentially pull Middle East scoring with 5-year plan. How much of a gamble do we like? The problem is with the hand we know they've got, 5-year plan's most likely. Let's go CIA. Oh, Asia scoring. Well, I'll be damned. That seems unusually risk-averse. So they should take a +1 realign on Iran here. Or a coup on Syria. But they may just take the coup on Angola as a nice opportunity. Well, I never thought I'd see the day where Asia drops for 1 VP in my favour with Formosa active and them holding the China card. So, yeah, okay. So a +1 realign on Iran would be insane. I suppose the coup on Syria to delay the inevitable, but even then, they then have to have a big coup on Iran. So what do we think? Angola, I suppose, is the likeliest coup. No, they went for the big Syria, and they got it. Well, I'll be damned. So now, we are only going to score Middle East for 4 VP, aren't we? But we get a chance to get a coup off because they can't do anything about Iran being that big. So we will do that. Because, yeah, we have to move to Iraq to move to Jordan. They move to Turkey to move into Syria. Yeah. So we'll take the coup and then bag 4 VP. That's alright. So that's a shame, but it's still a gain. We space duck and cover. And we event Truman before we lose more than Austria or Finland. Of course, we want to delay spacing duck and cover in one way because they could pull it with 5-year plan. Yeah, okay. We drop Middle East scoring before it gets any worse, even if they score Europe domination in response. Or, oh, they had it as well. I was going to say it's the only unknown card. Ha ha ha. And guess what? Alright, so we'll space duck and cover now. We fail. Blech! So now they get a chance to space D-style and pip us to the 2VP square. That's no fun. Okay, so it's all about exploiting the mid-war regions now. All of the other areas have been scored. So we know their exact hand now. They've got Comic-Con, 5-year plan, NATO, D-style, NASA. Algeria? Sensible, because they can walk into Libya as well, I suppose, through Tunisia. Alright, we will Truman into Zaire. We're going to do that right now. First, we'll overprotect Angola before moving into Zaire. Just so they can't run a flip with 5-year plan or Comic-Con. If they don't fill up South Africa this term, we'll pour East European unrest in there. We're hoping to see Comic-Con so we can then top up Czechoslovakia and Yugoslavia before using Eastern European unrest and then Truman, I guess. Don't need to worry too much about Europe right now, but we will need socialist governments to come along and save us in the long run. Italy's a 1 in 3 brush war at the moment. D-style to space, standard. Does fail at least. So we will use Eastern European unrest in South Africa. And they may just respond with Comic-Con. So we'll be going into mid-war US +1, which is several points behind where I'd like to be as USSR, and not having seen D-style, so no access in South America. We're doing alright in Africa, we're making a go of it, but we're still desperate for Junta or Brush War or ABM to really set us going here. Not ideal. Not a great start. we'll use Truman AR6. We're going to hold Indo-Pakistani War, so if they do something to drop DEFCON in the headline, we can still get Milops turn 4. But seeing East European rest, my instincts are that they may just use Comic-Con to put South Africa back up to 4-3. Not that we're necessarily unhappy with that, because we can get into Botswana and realign it if we need to. Hopefully before they get a chance to do something. But anyway, we shall see. Ah, they're looking to pull Truman, which they do. I'm less worried about that than I was losing another region. So what do we do? Well, now we speculate on the 1 in 3 Pakistan flip. And miss badly. It was worth a try for an extra couple of VP. So now they've got Comic-Con or NASA. They can play Comic-Con with a little more impunity. And they want to hold NASA after all. So maybe now they just go back up to South Africa 4-3, having binked the 50-50 pull of Truman. It happens. Well, they may use the China card to jam one of my 3 Asia battlegrounds, but Asia's scored recently, so there's still time to do something about that, and we can use the China card to flip Thailand in its current state, so none of that seems super likely. I think the likeliest scenario is they use Comic-Con to do something. And that something is likely to be putting back into South Africa or moving into Botswana. Okay, threatening Nigeria access. That's all fine. So we do get Africa scoring. And we could use We Will Bury You to drop DEFCON, knowing we've got UN intervention. And we can get the coup off on Saharan states to potentially dominate Africa. That looks reasonably sassy. Also got Allende, which is nice. Actually got an insanely red hand, didn't we? So We Will Bury You, followed by a coup on Saharan states. Or even just overprotect Nigeria. Yeah, overprotect Nigeria and Botswana. Okay, so now you can't coup at least. Please miss. Excellent. So Allende is less useful to us now. Let's start there. They kind of need to take a coup on Botswana here. ABM treaty is not good for us here. But it takes an op to regain domination. Yeah, brush or ABM, or especially Voice of America, is kind of gross. ABM, perfect. Whistle for the wind. So, Zaire or Nigeria? Okay. Um, we'll retake. But we're going to retake and put another one in Nigeria, so if they then have Voice of America, we don't get cleared out. Frustrating, but I don't want to be wrong-footed again. Brush War follow-up is crap for us. But if they hold ABM and Brush War, there's not really a lot I can do. If you're not getting dealt the cards. We'll hold UN interventions through the turn, and we'll event Liberation Theology late in the turn. 2 in Mexico, 1 in Cuba. Just to maximise pressure there. Okay. Are you just going to level up? Deny Dom? Yeah. So now we're hoping for a sympathetic coup. Well, barely sympathetic. Getting rather glued down in Africa here. And they are slowly developing their board position. Well, that's not even going to be slow. There's still time to get a coup off on in Africa and rebalance. Gonna keep plugging away, but this isn't looking good already. Yikes. Yeah, Muslim Revolution is a free 4-op card. I mean, in a way, it's nice that they're doing so badly in... Oh, no, wait, I can remove Sudan. Oh, that's a bonus. So now they need to put 1 in Sahara and 1 in Southeast Africa states. I might use Allende for a 1-op coup in Africa, because I'm now at the point where if I play into Chile, they just play into Peru and get the +1 realigns anyway. So it's a little gross. So yeah, resigned to South America for now. Need to get this coup off, and it fails. Right, so I've reached the end of the road in Africa, and I'm going to be dropping it for a single VP. That's galling. But I'm not going to waste Liberation Theology. I can't stop developing my board position. Oh boy. No, we drop Africa scoring for a single measly VP. And we'll finish AR7 Liberation Theology at least and try and cause some havoc in Central America. But with Junta gone, we can't deal with both places, North and South of America, so it's not a great place to be right now. With ABM gone, we're really looking at Brush to help us out in South America. South America looks diabolical. So if it after space, all the more reason to play into Cuba with Liberation Theology, and they got to the 2 VP square first. So yeah, things are not good. Not good at all. They're still holding NASA, plus one other. Oh, one small step, so now we can't even jump ahead of them for headline peaking. We have got Brush. Defectors is still in the deck, so I'm not going to headline it. We'll headline Cambridge 5 to maximise our chances of seeing something sassy. Yep. And we'll try and get a mitt off. Okay, so at least we get perfect information here, and the answer is they're not holding anything this turn. Sensible. We're going to take the high rollers approach and have a coup on Mexico to start. Which is alright, but not great. Will UN intervention grain sales? Or will space grain sales as a fallback? But the question is what we're still holding UN intervention for. There's still a few 3-op cards in there. But here we're taking back at least one of our Central America battlegrounds. And then we'll brush on Venezuela. Oh, had a 4-op card. Set up nicely. Ooh, boy. Okay, so we're going to use a mitt to play into Mexico and Nicaragua. And if they try the realign on Guatemala and fail, we get another shot at coupping Guatemala. Or playing into Cuba. Either or. They go for the coup on Nicaragua instead. So we will counter coup Haiti to start. So now they have to put 4 into Cuba. Need to remember at some point this turn I actually have to play Southeast Asia scoring as well for a disgusting amount of points. I suspect they'll now try the realign on Mexico. Oh, so just take Cuba, I guess. Right. So we will now UN intervention, grain sale, coup, Guatemala. Because we can't be in a situation where we end up giving Central America control. But next up is brush war before we missile envid. And Venezuela looks like the place that has to be. So we're hoping they don't fill Brazil first. But this is not great stuff. Gross. So we can either 50-50 Thailand to get Southeast Asia points. Nah, I think we have to do Venezuela. So we're better off dropping Southeast Asia scoring now. I mean, that's a 4 VP swing with brush war for 50-50. I don't know. I don't know what's better here. Doing nothing in South America seems like an invite to disaster. We will drop Southeast Asia scoring and we'll brush war. Venezuela at 50-50, I think. I don't know which of those was better. I think trying to brush Thailand is like immediate satisfaction. But the mature is to brush war Venezuela, especially with junta. Okay, so they're going NASA. We're going to put our one op into Libya in case they event Sadat straight away. And yes, I'm keeping blockade in the deck for late. We now have no idea what's in their hand. We'll brush war Venezuela R7 because if we're lucky and they play into Colombia, we try and take a chance to coup Brazil to level up South America in the turn. But things are not good. Ooh, things are really not good. But it's too late to do anything about that right now. Go Venezuela. Success. There's a small success for us. And we will deal with Poland shortly. Yikes. Assuming there is a shortly, they could just use the China card to fill it now. Voice of America is crippling here as well. One into Colombia. Yeah. Quagmire. We can't be bear trapped. Okay. Let's have a look at what... Yeah, they didn't want the big fat gamble with Summit, did they? What are the worst headlines? Yasuri, Ask Not, Shuttle Diplomacy, Defectors, of course, still in the deck, Purge. If we event Quagmire and it gets defected, we still get a coup off. If we event Missile Envy, we're likely to get a 3-op card in exchange. There are no 4-op cards apart from Nuclear Test Ban, which triggers. Let's Quagmire. Everyone loves a Quagmire. But they're going to drop Defcon. At least that means we have a chance to... coup Colombia. Well, actually, we can just jam Brazil, can't we? Man, do we missile envy them? I don't think we do we? No. We are boring and risk averse, and we jam Brazil and then fill Brazil. But they fail on the decol. As much as I want to do shenanigans in Europe, I feel like I have to deal with the problem at hand, which is South Africa. South America, sorry. If they fail another turn now, we'll do some shenanigans in Europe. That's probably, again, too risk-averse for me in this current situation. Oh, now it's spicy. So now we event socialist governments, and we use Marshall Plan to fill France. They get out with lads. And that forces them to use a 4-up card to take Poland immediately. I don't know if this is good or not, but it's fun and confusing. We're going to space Alliance for Progress and hold Bear Trap through the turn for the reshuffle, which is definitely happening. So the only 4-up card they have besides the China card is Nuclear Test Ban. But if they have Cultural Revolution or Asuri, they could use the China card, knowing they have to give it back with Cultural Diplomacy. So let's see. China card to take Poland. Oh no, they've got Central America scoring, so I managed to wrest Europe back from their grasp. Do have to take a coup at some point this turn, but let's deal with the problem at hand. Oh boy. South America is right on the cusp. Snagging VPs like it's going out of fashion. I may have to give up the mill ops this turn, actually, because I've just realised I have to overprotect Venezuela and Brazil, which is worth far more than 2 VPs. It's not looking great. And the deck is definitely stacked blue. There's VOA. Yikes! So we overprotect South America as much as we can and pop one in North Korea. But that's nothing the China card can't deal with. So things are not looking rosy. And salting something for good measure. Salting Hunter, but we're on a grade 5, so Defcon 5 even. Oh, lots of VPs, risky realigns in Europe. South America scoring. Boy, oh boy. So knowing Hunter's going to go off, do we purge them? I just need to double check nuclear test ban didn't go after the reshuffle, and I wasn't tracking it properly. Turn 4? No, that was ABM treaty, fine. There's nuclear test ban, yeah. Why do I use a card tracker if I don't use it to track cards? I mean, is that not defeating the raison d'etre of a card tracker? What an absolute spanner. Okay. So they've got Yasuri, Arsenal, and Shuttle, right? Because we've not seen any of those. And they've got Sadat, which is not great for us. And Colonial Rearguards and Kitchen Debates, we think, yeah? Because we've got Cult Rev, Arab Israeli, and Portuguese. Did Willy Brandt go? If Willy Brandt didn't go, did it not go in the trap? It didn't. Decol and Truman. Did it go to space? I don't think it did, but maybe it did. No. It was Fidel that went to space. So maybe they're holding Willy Brandt as well. But like I said, I don't track cards apparently. Especially not for friendless. So we think potentially their hand is entirely made up of Yasuri, Arsenal, Shuttle Defectors, Sadat, Hunter, Colonial Regards, and Kitchen Debates. Which is a lot of choice. So if they defect us, that's a reason not to play Purge. But that leaves us with precious few headlines. Cultural Revolution to take the China card back. If that gets defected, that's a shame, but it's not as bad as some other options. At least if they Hunter and coup, we're not going to get +3 realigned out of France. If they've got ABM treaty, Europe's a disaster. Vietnam revolts for access, but we've already got access effectively. No, I think I'll headline Cultural Revolution. I'm not happy about any of them. And I think we'll see Hunter or defectors here. Yeah, defectors. Fine. So Defcon is 5. Must remember Defcon is 5. It's 5. So we'll start with a coup on Brazil. Oh no, wait. Yes, I do have to coup, because otherwise they'll realign me out of France. That's a start. So now they'll be targeting Venezuela as much as they can. And they've got... Oh no, we've got sheltered frames. That's why I couldn't line up the cards properly. 3 in the discard pile. That's fine. Okay, so we think they're holding one other card along with Yusuri, Arsenault, Willy, Sadat, Hunter, Colonial Rearguards, and Kitchen Debates. Colonial Rearguards is kind of gross for us too. Straight in with Hunter. So we can... I guess Arab-Israeli war's better. Encourage them to coup so we get the last one. If they don't take the last coup, we can drop South America for 0. But we're at 9 points behind and dominated pretty much across the map. So dropping something for 0 VP is a bit rubbish. Misses the peaks. I think, yeah. Ugh, we're going to drop South America for 0 begrudgingly. So D-Star was the other card they picked up, although at this point in the game, I'm less bothered about it. So they've got Yusuri, Ask Not, Willy, Sadat, Colonial Rearguards, and Kitchen Debates. So I think if they don't drop Defcon this turn, we'll take a juicy coup on Thailand to force them to use Yusuri or Colonial Rearguards. But things do not look good. How many times have I said that this game? Quite a few. We'll be looking to Space Camp David, although they might be looking to get Defcon down to event Sadat, of course. Want to make sure they can get their access in Egypt, Middle East back before game ends. Anyway, I suspect we're only winning this game by taking the China card off them, and I don't know, I'm being unfair. I suppose blockading them out of West Germany and brush warring Italy and getting Europe control is one way, but the likeliest way is Defcon suicide. But yikes, the position is dire. Cooing with colonial regards. Such greed. Such limitless greed. So now, do we take the bait? Yeah, we'll take the bait, because Defcon's 4 anyway. We're going to coup Thailand now. We don't quite get there. What a shame. So now Yusuri River Skirmish repairs that damage, making Shuttle Diplomacy largely unplayable. So now things in Asia look pretty dire. Yep, knowing Yusuri can take it back. Yikes. Okay, so we'll use Portuguese Empire Crumbles to push North Korea back up a touch. But this is not good. Central America, we need almost a late game Fidel. Although, actually, again, Ortega might come to the rescue. Yeah. I really don't see many ways back of winning this game. But yeah. Turn 10 blockades and Ortegas and Aldriches and lone gunmen and the like may yet do it. Although, of course, war games for US in turn 8 will also end it. Yeah, pip pip. So we'll space Camp David and see if we can get headline peaking. We can, as long as they don't have one small step. So there's Sadat. So we will coup with shuttle diplomacy to finish. Excellent. So now they have to play into Libya. Although we've just resigned ourselves to being dominated in Asia. And they can walk into Syria anyway. So I don't know. At least I've not been bear trapped. But I think I am so dead. That's standard at this point. And cultural diplomacy's gone to the deck, so yikes. Grain sales and 5-year plan, so maybe self-trapping is going to happen here. But we'll start with Aldrich, I guess, right? We have to... Oh, of course, we get to see what they do first. But we are pretty doomed. Oh well. At least after Arsenal we get to see their entire hand, right? Because that triggers first. Yep. Do they chuck Lone Gunman, for example? But here, what do we need, right? We need them to be holding Ortega plus Lone Gunman. And no way to manage DEFCON to leave them in a position of DEFCON suicide. So the parlay is ridiculously large. At least this way we can pull war games as well if we need to. But, bleh. So we're spacing 5-year plan. Bear trapping ourselves to get rid of grain sales. This is just... it's just so gross. So yes, let's hope to see a Defcon Suicide hand, otherwise we are toast. Okay, so, at least Star Wars can't trigger, right? What did they chuck? I wasn't looking at the point of throwing away. Can't tell me. Kitchen debates and Middle East scoring. Okay, could have been worse. But you didn't pick up any Defcon Suicides cards, did you? Missile Envy. North Sea Oil. And Star Wars. And Olympic Games and Arms Race. Solidarity is incredibly bad for us. But so is Chernobyl. So, Chernobyl the ditch? I think it has to be, right? Yeah. It's, even if they don't event it, it's their highest ops card. So, Chernobyl goes. We will coup. And we will coup Algeria. That was disappointing. So now we'll overprotect Poland, knowing they have solidarity. And then we'll just manage Defcon Suicide. So we're going to space 5-year plan, event Bear Trap to discard grain sales. And also make sure we don't shorten our hand so we can hold grain sales. Because they have no way of shortening our hand either. They're now unlikely to be able to score VP with Arms Race. They may missile envy us, in which case we give them AWACS, begrudgingly, but Middle East scoring's gone. And if they missile envy us after AWACS is gone, we give them Bear Trap, knowing that we're going to grain sales. Oh! No, if they missile envy us, we then have to use missile envy first. So that is bad. We want to see missile envy go before we start doing trap stuff, I guess. But this game is pretty much a lost cause, in my opinion. We've still got terrorism, maybe, but... oh, I have not been paying attention. Arms race, refilled Algeria. Fine, but boring. We space 5-year plan, because we do not want a situation where that gets taken off us. And we fail, because why on earth would we need VPs? So Missile Envy now gives AWACS, because we can't give Bear Trap. Yeah? Yeah. And we can't Bear Trap before Missile Envy goes, because if we Bear Trap... Well, I suppose, actually, if they Bear Trap and then Missile Envy us, we can give them grain sales to avoid Defcon Suicide? No, because they can return grain sales. Oh no, grain cells pulls another card. They can't. Okay, so we can get rid of grain cells in that situation. We'll overprotect Poland. We won't be stupid. We still have a chance to make a coup if they play into Cameroon. And as annoying as that is, it's a whole lot smarter than crapping the bed in Europe. But yeah, DEFCON is still the only way to get back from this, I think. We kind of want them to space something crap so that Ortega becomes a hit. I am absolutely toast here. Well. So now if they miss LMV, we give them Bear Trap, we put Missile Envy in the trap, and we have to event Voice of America. That's our worst case scenario. Hey, Asia was already toast. Okay, we're going to self-trap. Overprotecting Poland again. If they do missile envy us, we can give them grain sales. Oh, yeah, yeah, I don't know. That was probably poor, but if they don't missile envy us right now, we get away with it. Self-trapping is crap. But so is eventing Voice of America or grain sales. We end up in a situation where we almost want to miss our first bear trap. Blah. Well, that's fortunate for us. That's very fortunate for us. In a way, that isn't, because we're left with Voice of America. But in another very real way, we avoid DEFCON suicide. So beggars can't be choosers. Has another crack. Oh, I was doing so well. Okay, let's put pressure on in Africa. Not that one scoring region's going to do it, mind. We're now looking at terrorism being our only way to win. And even then, it's got to be Iranian hostage crisis, terrorism, because of them holding the China card. So yikes. We'll have another coup in Africa, why not? Fiddle while Rome burns. That's what I say. And will you miss LMV us for a hilarious flourish? Or are you worried we have duck and cover? You are, which is good enough for me. So, no war games is bad. Liberation theology is fine. Che is pretty good under the circumstances. But there's really not a lot that we can do to stem the tide. Why am I giving my opponent all those cards? Duh. I need them. Got the headline peak at least. Oh boy. I spy a big rear line on France coming. So I suppose ABM Treaty Q on Algeria becomes the next best option. Yeah, we ABM Treaty Coup Zaire. So we either coup Zaire or we tap West Germany and Algeria to make France rear lines only +1. Right? That's one option. And a successful coup of Algeria makes it +1, but an unsuccessful coup, which happens 50% of the time, makes it +2. The upshot of also raising DEFCON is they can't coup, and that makes war games less playable. But either way, this is kind of crap. ABMing Thailand doesn't gain anything because shuttle diplomacy is in play, so they'll still be ahead in battlegrounds. So yeah, let's tap Algeria and West Germany. Meaning they've got a harder time in France, and we might have time to repair Europe. Not that any of it matters. +1. Yes. Okay. Do your worst. Because I will have time, hopefully, to repair and then coup, counter-coup. Although, of course, DEFCON is at 4. Which means they can discard Lone Gunman or Ortega, although we can't really deal with that anyway. Went for the coup instead, and failed. So what can we do here? We can... Alright. It doesn't take long for them to coup and get DEFCON down anyway, so I think we just have to gamble on the fact they're not holding... Although we've got... If we space, we get them down below... if we OPEC, we get 3 VPs, so that's probably the thing to do. Alright, let's get them down below War Games. Which affords them a coup, but we can still recapture Algeria. Oh, yowza. Nice work. Let's build some more. No, we're gonna take back East Germany before any shenanigans. Even if it uses our 4-op card. Next up is Che, and then Liberation Theology. They did have Asia. Good for them. There's a boatload of points. Hope to get some realigns off on Zaire. Yeah. War Games? Or, yeah, War Games is the only thing, isn't it? Yeah. Very good. Well earned. Totally fair. Well done, justnord. Nicely done. Well, thanks for watching. Nothing like a fun friendly, and with no delay. Next game is in 2 days. 4 PM UK, 5 PM Europe, 8 AM Pacific, and that will be on Action Round Zero, because I'm playing Hervé in Itzel, where I'm probably going to get crushed, but let's hope. We've got some roll karma stored up from losing today. You never know. Alright, brilliant. Yep, so I'll see you Saturday against Hervé, and I will let you know when there's more. Hervé is USA, so he's definitely favoured as a stronger player. So, yeah, I'm not holding out a lot of hope. But there you go. We'll give it a blast. Alright, thanks for coming along and watching, and let me know if that could have gone differently. My instincts are not, but that doesn't mean that I don't always play perfectly, of course. So yeah, thanks a lot for coming by. See you later.